Hi there, my name is Ellen, and I will be correcting this essay for you today. I'm very happy to see that you've submitted an essay for correction. Let's see how we can help you to prepare for IELTS. So why don't we just get straight into it and see what you wrote? It is often argued that working before starting college education is beneficial for students. In my opinion, I believe that although students gain life experience, there are some negative impact. Okay, it's fine overall, but you really should be careful with some of this grammar here. Um, there are some negative impacts, plural. And then we don't usually say before starting college education. We usually say before starting college. Or we say, it's often argued that working before uh, maybe starting a college education, maybe that would have been better, perhaps. Um, Usually we just say before starting college. That's honestly the most natural expression that I can think of to say this. Okay, careful with your typing here. Experience is spelled wrong. And then other than that, it's more or less, it's pretty good. It's brief, which I like. It's to the point, so that's good. Let's take a look at your body paragraphs now. On the one hand, some advocate that working before attending university generally has a positive effect on students. You want a plural here. One of the key benefits of this is they gain more experience in life. That is to say, you're missing a word here. That is to say, people who work before tertiary education are exposed to certain lifestyles, and they face real life challenges, which better prepares them for the adult life. For example, according to a group of research, not researchers, it's never plural, in the UK, adults, S here, who worked before attending tertiary education, you're missing a word, are able to adapt well in the work settings. No, are uh, are more able to adapt in work settings than those who did not. This is a result of early exposure. Okay. So obviously you can see I had to correct a lot of the grammar. It didn't create a strain, but it still acted like a speed bump, a lot of the mistakes. And they were pretty consistent throughout. So that's the first thing that sticks out, this idea of grammar being an issue. I didn't really understand this. They're exposed to certain lifestyles. Like, what does that mean? Where you never really explained it, and so that kind of confused me. It left an unanswered question. So generally, try not to leave any unanswered questions. You mentioned real life challenges. That was fun. I got that. They had to adapt well in the work settings. So that was pretty clear. But I really didn't understand this example of lifestyles. So I thought you should have developed that idea a little more so that there are no questions. Just so that you know, the mark of a band 9 essay in terms of task achievement is one where there are no unanswered questions. The examiner leaves it not, being fully convinced, fully reading a fully supported essay where there are no gaps in any of the arguments that you make. So keep that in mind and try to maybe explain some of this stuff a little more fully. Let's take a look at your next paragraph and your conclusion. Nevertheless, there are also negative impacts which must be considered. One important problem is students might not return back to school. This is to say, they are more likely to lose interest in their studies when they find the money they are receiving is more appealing. For example, this has been proven in the USA, where students are allowed to work and to go to college at their own convenience with an E. Get rid of the comma here. While not everyone will consider the financial gains and would like to achieve their goals, many young people may think it is a waste of time to continue their education when they have a well-paid job. Moreover, many of the students might have difficulties adapting to an academic environment if they stay away for a longer period. Okay, I think you could have said something more about that. I really felt like this paragraph was very well developed. I thought you did a really, really good job with this, much better than this. But you have this last sentence here, and I still think you could have supported it with something. Okay, maybe you could have used some sort of a statistic, like, for example, students who had a 3-year gap in their studies performed 20% lower than students who went straight into college, something like that. Okay, So that would have been a nice thing to include. But I thought this was good. Let's see. The one thing that I wanted to mention to you about this is your linking devices. When you use on the one hand, you really need to use on the other hand here. You see, there are certain linkers that go together. So on the one hand absolutely requires an on the other hand. Okay, and it's the same thing with firstly. If you have a firstly, you need a secondly. You didn't have that here. So since you did this, you could have said on the other hand here, or you could have said nothing here, which is also very effective, and then just used your nevertheless, and that would have been fine. Let's take a look at your conclusion now. To summarize, while it is better for university students with an S to work before beginning college because of the practical life experience they accumulate, I believe that the harmful effect is undeniable. As many such students, S, will not return to the university. Okay, so I thought you had really great arguments. I thought you did a really good job of task achievement for the most part, except for maybe the first body paragraph was not as strong. But for me, I think the biggest weakness here is grammar. I want you to be a little more cautious. And the thing is that a lot of your grammar mistakes were really basic, really kind of elementary mistakes. And you should know that IELTS examiners are less accommodating and less kind of, I guess, generous maybe when you make these kinds of mistakes. They kind of feel like, well, these are things that you should have learned very, very early on in your English language education. And so it's different if you make a mistake in a higher level piece of grammar and compared to if you make a mistake on very basic, simple grammar. So they're more accommodating with these higher level mistakes and less accommodating with simple mistakes. And I thought that a lot of your essay had simple mistakes that you should have avoided. So I want you to be more careful with them. Now, I'm happy you sent this essay in. You're going to get a link on how you can continue to work with us. I hope you'll consider it. I hope you found this feedback helpful and that you will agree to let us help you prepare for IELTS. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So thanks for sending this in, and lots of luck to you.